make a difference in the world because, for one, you have the brain, but you also have very good souls. Hi, I'm Charles Corey. You can call me Chuck. I teach at Abergavenny economics, health and wellness, pulp culture, and street law. And so actually, I didn't start teaching at first. I graduated, you did a few sub positions, trying to get a teaching job, but I actually got into social work. I went to a coaching session up the mountains, and it just blew me away. I went with my wife. I was like, wow, this is incredible. So I thought, I like this. It gave you're the expert in your life. So as a coach, you kind of just bring out the best, the health or wellness coach. And we live in our own head, and sometimes the worst enemy is our own thoughts. And when we believe our assumptions, it makes life very difficult. I would say the hardest part now is the distractions between the cell phones and the social media. It kind of builds that. It's a hurdle that as a teacher I have to come over that I never really had to. I tend to be more engaging. I like to walk around the room. I like to be, and sometimes the cell phones become a little bit of a distraction. I'd also say just the whole teaching environment with walking through metal detectors now, bag scanners, you have armed guards throughout the school, that the atmosphere isn't very inviting anymore. I learn more, and this has crossed my heart, I learn more from these kids than they by far learn from me, and it keeps me grounded in a sense. I never forgot what it was like to sit in one of these desks. Oh, your mental health is everything. So we'll go do some steroids, get some muscles, we'll get Botox, shorten our lips, walk around like this. But what do we do for our mental health? How do we feed our brain? Our brain is an organism that controls pretty much everything. And our mental health is, once your mental health is in order, everything else falls in place. You find that balance. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. The mental health aspect is something that absolutely has to be addressed in our society. Those thoughts in your head become a vicious cycle. And if you think of all the thoughts and all the assumptions you made in your life, I bet you 90% of them are wrong. And that's our mental health, because and when we take a step back and we realize that, it makes a big difference in our life. My biggest accomplishment, I say navigating this world, not getting too high, recognize looking inward. My biggest accomplishment was looking inward and understanding, that just because I perceive the world this way doesn't mean the next person's going to perceive it that way. And also doesn't mean that they're wrong. They just think differently than I. It's hard enough growing up in the world, and we have to understand that life doesn't get better. You just got to get better at living at it. And that's what I think a teacher can do, give the skills so the student can better navigate their life. And it's not necessarily the curriculum, it's the life skills that they can carry with them. Remember, you won't remember everything you learned in class, but you will remember how you feel. And that's my point, is to make the students feel the best that they possibly can.